Alright, hi there ladies and gentlemen. My name is Q Esquivel. I will be presenting a social media marketing plan for YETI Incorporated. For those of you that do not necessarily know what YETI Incorporated does, they are a company who produces high quality drinkware and coolers primarily. Some of the goals and objectives we have for this is, in terms of social media, we would like to produce over 65 new 100 leads for the next 3 years. Next, we would like to increase brand awareness by 18%. And finally, we would like to increase the impressions by over 150%. For those of you that don't know what impressions are, it is kind of like if YETI has a Facebook page and we create a post and somebody clicks on our YETI Facebook page. That counts as an impression. So what we're trying to do is increase the amount of impressions and the amount of people who just visit our page by over 150%. So marketing goals that we have is we would like to increase sales to 210 million by 2021. Currently in 2018 they are 191 million. And next we would like to increase the purchase price or purchase of medium-sized coolers. YETI has a very wide range of coolers that sell, and the more profitable ones are their smaller 20 to 35 quart coolers and their higher ones between 65 and 85 quarts. We would like the 45 to 55 quart coolers to have a higher purchase rate than it currently does because it's such an in-between size, whereas the larger coolers are used by avid hunters and fishers in order to keep ice and keep stuff cold for an extended amount of time, and the smaller sizes are used by people more for like everyday situations, like going to backyard barbecues or going to the beach with friends and stuff like that. Next, after doing a SWOT analysis on YETI, I have come up with these strengths and weaknesses and opportunities and threats. Great strength is their name. Most people think of YETI and think of a strong creature that's cold all the time and is very rugged and can handle a lot of brutal beatings from the environments. And that's pretty much what they try to do with their coolers. They make them very tough, very durable, and they hold ice for very long. The next thing is their name is very good. It's very strong. It's recognizable by everybody. Everybody knows how to say it. There's no problem with that. There's a high growth and demand. YETI coolers are one of the new upcoming things that a lot of consumers would like to have because the quality of the product is very high. And then lastly, the strong customer loyalty for strengths. The company does have a lot of strengths in terms of customers being very loyal with their purchase of YETI because everybody believes that it is the best product on the market in terms of coolers, and they know that, so they will have a lot of brand ambassadors because people agree with what YETI has done. Some weaknesses internally are high prices. The prices of the coolers are very high. They range anywhere from $199 to $799. Next, the long product life. That makes it very difficult for people to continue to repurchase coolers because they last for years to come, and it's not like they're very easily broken. They are meant to last for years, so having people re-buy new ones is very difficult, so they have to rely on new consumers purchasing rather than current or previous ones. Some opportunities and threats. There's a high value for YETI coolers because of how well they last and how good of a product they are. And the global market and global demand is, it's not just in the United States. There's countries all over the world, people all over in different countries that enjoy YETI products because they last very long and they're very well made. And then finally, for innovation and opportunities. Innovation that YETI has done is that their coolers have a inside that is double vacuum sealed so that all the ice and cold products that are inside of the cooler stay very cold, and there's no sweat or residue because of the double vacuum walled seal that YETI coolers have. So there's no sweat on the outside from the ice melting or anything like that. And then some threats. There is substitute products. There's a lot of coolers and that try to imitate what YETI has done, and they do sometimes sell for a substantially less price than YETI does. Next, there's a bad economy. The bad economy is not very helpful because it makes it that much more difficult for people to justify purchasing a $300 cooler when they could easily use some of that money to pay off rent or pay a bill or something like that. So I did a little bit of research, and Yeti, along with these three other coolers, are some of the top coolers in terms of all of these are 20 quarts. They all hold 20 quarts of ice and water, but these are some of the top coolers in terms of the market. Yeti, I believe, has done the best job, and clearly they were the first to the punch in order of, or in terms of creating a cooler that lasts very well. So theirs is purchased at $199 with a very simple design. Orca is another company that has tried to imitate what Yeti's done, and they priced theirs at $10 cheaper than Yeti to possibly bring in more consumers because it is slightly cheaper. But the design, as you can tell, is very similar to what Yeti has done. Very, very similar. Next, we have Pelican, which sells at $159. Uh, the design is very interesting. I'm not particularly a fan of it just because it's very tall and not very wide. I don't feel that it could hold much uh, in terms of that, but it is priced at $159, which is cheaper, far cheaper than Yeti. And then finally, we have Igloo Sportsman. This is a company that's been around for a while. They've been in the cooler industry for several years now, but they, for some reason, have decided to take on the same approach as Orca in trying to imitate what Yeti has done. Also, it is priced very high compared to, it's priced much higher than Yeti. So the social media tactical plan, things that we plan to do is we plan to have some contests, best photo slash video, and what we would do is on Instagram or Facebook, something like that, either one of these platforms that we would plan on using that I'll talk about later, we would have the consumers take their best photo or video with the hashtag Yeti into the wild, and it would basically be these people going out on an adventure with friends or family or something like that, and they would take a video or a picture with the hashtag Yeti into the wild, and they would post it on either Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, something like that. And the person who gets the most retweets and likes would be the winner, and they would receive another free cooler. Um, Next thing we would like to do is some pop-up auctions and raffles and giveaways. What we would do is we would go into a city, send out mass emails, text messages, and say we're here from X amount of time from today, and we would auction off some coolers or do some raffles for another amount of coolers, and we would give out some free merchandise such as t-shirts, hats, and koozie stuff like that. And then lastly, we'd want to give we would like to receive a lot of feedback from our customers because plain and simple, it's easier to do things better and ensure that your sales are higher when you know exactly what your customers want. As I stated, some of the social media channels that we'd be using is Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Snapchat, and Pinterest. All of these are great ways to show pictures and show how our products are used and what they can be used for. And we can be interactive and talk to our consumers from each of these platforms. Next, what we'll do is this is how we will measure engagement through likes, shares, comments, mentions, retweets, reposts, follows. What we're going to do is obviously likes and retweets have to do with Twitter, and it's a very easy way for us to have our content posted throughout the Twitter sphere. And what we do is our post receives X amount of likes and retweets, which just means that that many consumers agree with what we've posted and they like it and they'd like to see more of it. And then the follows, we have more people following our pages. That's just a positive for our company because we're trying to get as many people to purchase our products as possible. Thank you guys for watching. Lastly and not least, what's stopping you from purchasing your Yeti today?